doctors in particular, historically, not just about COVID, but sort of forever, about being overly conservative. I don't mean politically conservative. I mean conservative with their advice. You know, if you're playing football and you twist your knee and you go to an orthopedic surgeon and say, what should I do? They're probably going to tell you, well, don't play football anymore because you're going to continue to get hurt. You know, and certainly if you were to go to a neurologist and say, hey, I want to do this kickboxing tournament, what do you think? They're going to say, well, you mean you want to intentionally let people try to kick you and punch you in the head? Don't do that. And well, medically, that may be the best advice for that specific organ system. We struggle as physicians in American medicine as a whole of looking at society and looking at people, because you know, I'm sure you know some guys that you went to high school with, and you may have been one of them, that if it wasn't for competitive sports, there's no way they would have gotten through high school. Right. I have a couple of really good friends in that. So, you know, and really, my son might fit in that same category. He probably get through, but football has been the best thing in the world for him. It's totally changed his motivation, and it's going to make him a much better adult, and therefore greatly benefit society. But the downside to that is there's a risk that he could tomorrow, you know, someone could fall on his knee wrong. He's going to blow out his knee. That wouldn't be cool, but that's not a life-threatening thing. And the same thing with head injuries. As long as you do things to mitigate the risk, you know, like if somebody gets in a fight and you think they have a concussion, you don't let them fight again for, you know, a certain period of time until they've recovered from it. There's things you can do to mitigate that risk. So to jump to COVID, is it true that if everybody could somehow hold up you know, completely isolated, like in their own room for a couple of weeks, could we completely eradicate COVID? Almost certainly. But at what cost? You know, that's just not a realistic thing. There's, you know, mental problems for people that need exposures. You know, there's obviously massive economic issues with that. So you need to have somebody who can take the 10,000-foot view and listen to physicians about this is what we could do, the best possible thing to completely eradicate this, and listen to the business owners that are like, okay, yeah, that'd be great, but it's not going to be good for me if COVID goes away, but now I'm literally starving because I can't feed my family, or you know, this and other thing, or this person commits suicide because they can't talk to their. You've got to find a way to balance that, and that's what politicians, I think, should do. And that's what's been, I think, most horrifying to me about this whole thing.
You know what I think politicians need to do? They need to call Dr. Jon Lucas.